All right, hello everyone. My name is Eric Girding with the Office of School Modernization. Welcome to the Ida B. Wells Comprehensive Planning Committee meeting number 1. Yeah, thank you so much for volunteering your time to be part of this effort. We really appreciate the input and feedback that we get from our community members, and this is really important work that we're going to be doing here over the next few months. We're just going to start with some introductions, project team, tell you a little bit about the architecture and engineering team that was selected, and then we would like committee members to also introduce themselves so we can get to know who you are and what brings you here. My position is a senior project manager with the Office of School Modernization. I've been with the district for just over 10 years and started off working on the 2012 bond projects, managed the Fabian K-8 school reconstruction, as well as there was a partnership with Concordia University as part of that project. That was completed in 2017. And then when that was completed, we were already sort of off the ground and started with the Lincoln High School project, which I managed that from conceptual design all the way through finishing construction this summer, which has been a great project. Both those projects have been really great experiences working at the district, and this is just really amazing work to be building schools for our communities. My background is in architecture, some construction as well, and real estate development. So I've spent about 9 years in the architecture field. I have a master's in architecture from University of Oregon, and worked in real estate development before I came to the district 10 years ago. We're not used to using the microphones. We're usually just projecting our voices, so I'm going to be passing this around. But this is Hector Lopez, who's also project manager on our team.
Hello everyone, like Eric said, my name is Hector Lopez and I'm a construction project manager with Portland Public Schools. I've been with the district for about 5 years now. I worked recently on the Lincoln High School project with Eric and on the Kellogg Middle School project. My background is in construction. I've been in the construction industry for about 24 years. Started out as a carpenter's apprentice and worked my way up from there. So I've been here with the district for the last 4 years working on these projects.
Yeah, David.
Hi, I'm David Main. I'm the communications manager for the PPS bond program. I've been with the district since 2013, just after the bond program started, so I've been on a number of these, and I am the person responsible for sending the email with the wrong links. I'm very sorry. My only excuse is that I had both gotten a COVID and flu shot earlier that morning, so it might have been late. But anyway, yeah, reach out to us. Always bookmark the website. That will have the latest updates for meetings, as well as we're videotaping the meeting tonight, so you can go back and watch the presentation part of that. And in future, the meeting notes and presentations will be there for your reference, as well as notifications for upcoming design workshops and open houses and things like that. So thanks, we really appreciate you and your enthusiasm for the school and this project.
Hi everyone, I'm Johnny Wan. I'm the operations analyst. I've been with the bond program for almost 2 years now, and I'm recording the meeting, and I also help manage our social media.
Thanks, Johnny. Yes, these are technically they're public meetings. We're here to do the work of the committee. We're happy to have members of the community that are not on the committee, and we've got a few folks back there, and we've got some colleagues too that we'll be working with soon. And so the way the meetings work is that we'll be doing the work of the committee, and then we always have time for public comment at the end of the meeting. So we'll make sure that if we have members of the community that are not on the committee, they have an opportunity to provide comment or ask questions. I just want to point out a couple folks we have back here we have our architecture and engineering team is led by Bora Architects. They've been selected. We are currently in process of approving their contract, which is going to be on the next board meeting for approval next week. So they are here as happy audience members back there. We have Becca and Steffi from Bora Architects. At our next meeting, you'll be seeing a lot more of them and a lot less of me up here. But you know, we'll be opening the meetings every time and then really kind of handing it over to our architects to do most of the heavy lifting during those meetings. This meeting is really a kickoff. Yeah, thank you. Great to see you. And we'll be doing introductions, talking about the process, getting some feedback from you towards the end. Again, Johnny mentioned we do record these meetings, but when we get to start working in groups at tables, we actually stop the recording at that point because we can't do it effectively to actually document what we're doing at the tables. It's really just to kind of get that, whatever introduction we're doing, we're gonna be reporting back from previous meetings, talking about the work we're doing in that meeting, and that's what we wanna make sure we have a record of for folks that can't make it, that they can see those recordings. So we'll have those posted on the project site. But so now I'd love to hear from the committee members and introductions. So I will pass the microphone around. If you want to just use your voice without the mic, that's fine, but as long as we can hear you.
Hello, I'm Scott Burns, Vice Principal here at IB Wells.
Hi, guess I'll stand up. Allie Croning, I teach English here.
My name is John Duncan. I have a freshman here, and I have a couple of kids who are in grade school and middle school now too, so excited to be part of building the new high school for them.
I am Don Bob. I'm the trails guy of the neighborhood. I'm here representing Southwest Trails. I live nearby. I have a grandson that's a sophomore, and I'd like to see a great building and a facility that serves the community as well as the school.
My name is Jeremy Shetler. I graduated from here in 1992, started coaching in 1998. Are you looking at your watch to see how long I've been talking? I'm back here as a campus monitor in 99, started teaching in 2007, became the head baseball coach in 2014, the dean of students in 2014. I also have been involved in the youth sports. I ran West Hills Wrestling for a few years. I was the president of Wilson Youth Football, and I worked with our local baseball leagues as well, along with the fact that my daughter is also a current freshman here. So I've spent more than half my life in these halls.
I'm Mike Dolan. I'm the athletic director here. It's my 24th year in PPS. So as a former social studies teacher here and head women's basketball coach, and now I'm the athletic director.
My name is Jamie Miller. I'm the theater director here at Ida B. Wells, and I'm just trying to preserve everybody's hearing at the moment. I am also the father of two young men, one of whom will be joining up here as a freshman next year. My wife is a teacher at Robert Gray Middle School. We're a big part of the community, not quite as impressive as the member of the furniture over there, but getting close. This is my 19th year up here on campus.
My name is Rochelle Harless. I have a sophomore here currently, and I have 3 incoming future students. The youngest one is in 4th grade, so I'm very vested in a beautiful, functional building for our kids.
Hi, my name is Cesar Villanueva. I have a freshman here this year, and volunteering has been on my to-do list, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to see what this is all about. I've been in the architectural profession for about 27 years. I am not technically an architect yet. I am currently studying for the exam, but I thought I could bring some useful knowledge to the table and get to see what this is all about.
Hi everyone, my name is Martha Lilly. I'm a parent of a second grader at Hayhurst Elementary. I'm an interior designer and I focus on K through 12 design.
Hi everyone, I'm Winston Rivas. I'm the college coordinator here. This is my 4th year at Wells, and in addition to that, I'm also Latinx student advisor, so I'm just here to speak on behalf of our students and kind of what they may need.
Hi everyone, I'm Sebastian Porter. I'm a 12th grader here at, 11th grader here at Ida B. Wells High School. I'm 11th grader here at Ida B. Wells High School. I'm ASB Communications Director and BSU President, and then I also was a co-captain last year for the Ida B. Wells cheer team. And I'm here because I want to see a beautiful future here at Ida B. Wells and for the young ones growing up to come to this amazing school.
My name is Erin Caldwell. I'm the business manager here at Ida B. Wells High School. I'm on my 17th year here at the school. Both my daughters went to school here and are off in college. And my husband works as the band director, so I'm pretty interested in all the aspects of a great new building.
Matt Reganini. I'm actually a design director with Nike's Global Places and Services team, so we design all the campus buildings out there. I've never been in this building before today, but I have a first grader over at Reiki, and I figured we'd help start this now, and maybe it'll be done by the time this is.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Kolazinski. I have a 6th grader at Jackson and a 3rd grader at Stevenson. Also, my kids are involved in Foothills Soccer and Southwest Portland Little League. So invested as a parent of future students and also just the community in general.
Hi, I'm Amanda Broman. I am a parent to a 7th grader at Gray and a 4th grader at Reiki. My husband likes to describe me as a professional volunteer. So I've been involved in like the PTA, in Southwest Portland Little League Board, where I originally met you, and I'm like neighbors with your parent-in-laws. And then like on Foothills, and I'm a coach, and then also I work in real estate, but I live across the street, so very invested in the school and the community.
Good evening all, Jeff Matson. Actually, my wife and I, our family lives on Burlingame Avenue, close to Dawn down the street, and so we have a vested interest in the reconfiguration. We're really interested in how, where the ball fields will go, and just if there's a phased implementation of the remodel, how that would look. My oldest son is a junior right now at Ida B. Wells, Nash Matson, and we have our youngest Rhett is a 6th grader at Gray now. So we have everyone out of Reiki, but they're all headed to Gray. Also, my day job is I'm an environmental attorney with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. I kind of advise on a lot of environmental laws that have community involvement aspects, and so this is kind of funny for me to be on the other side of the government agency or the local government and community involvement. So interested to see how this plays out. Thanks.
My name is Sheila Kendall. I'm a counselor here, and this is my 8th year. I'm super excited about this project. Excited to maybe eventually work in a new building, and I just really want to advocate for the student services aspect of a new building and how we're serving our students through counseling, social work, all of the partner contractors that we have, and all the spaces we need for students to gather, and really want to be able to have a say in that.
I'm Nico Fisk. I'm a 9th grader. I've got a 7th grade brother who will be coming here in 2 years. I'm here to represent the LGBTQ student community at Ida B. Wells.
I'm Electra Wood. I'm one of the leads for the project to revitalize the garden. I'm a 11th grader, and I have an 8th grader sister who will be joining us next year, who I really just want to see a better school for her.
I'm Sophie Wetherill, and I'm in the CTE program here and engineering, and I do track and field, so I'm just interested in how this will get remodeled.
I'm Steve Walmer, 36 years with PPS, probably 13 here, I think, at Wilson, or Ida B. Wells, sorry. Born and raised in the neighborhood, I have a vested interest in the community as well. So I'm here to help out. I teach shop and looking out for the CTE program.
I'll go again if you want.
Hi, Andrew Scott. I graduated from here in 1991. I also have a recent graduate last year, 2023, and then I am a sophomore as well. And then I'm also on the Portland School Board, and I represent Zone 1.
Hello, my name is Bruce McCleve. I am a CTE teacher here. I teach audio engineering. This is my 9th year here. My daughter graduated from here in 2018 and was part of the renaming committee. So I feel I have a pretty important invested interest in seeing how this works out.
Hi, I'm Lisa Newland, class of '89, and current principal at Robert Gray Middle School. And pleased and proud to say that I have 2 graduates from Ida B. Wells, class of 2022 and class of 2023. I'm professionally interested and invested in a physical space for the students in our community so that they feel engaged and connected and have equitable access. And I understand how the physicality of a building can really impact how kids engage as learners. So I'm here as an alum and as a community member and also as a professional who's interested in making sure that our kids from Berkeley get a really great space to come to as they enter high school.
Do you want us to introduce ourselves? All right.
Hi everyone, I'm Steffi Knudsen. I'm the principal in charge with Bora Architects. Once we're under contract, we'll be your architect. I'm also class of '88 of this school.
All right.
And am so humbled and overwhelmed at being able to be part of redesigning and reimagining my own alma mater for the next generation. So I'll try not to bring that up at every meeting, but it's just really exciting for me.
Hi, and I'm Becca Cavell with Bora Architecture and Interiors, project manager for this team. Worked with Eric on the Lincoln High School as well, which is the school that my daughter graduated from 3 years ago. I'm very happy to be working on another high school. It's the most rewarding project, one of the most challenging projects to work on. I'm so glad that you're all here. You sound like an amazing group, so it's going to be fun.
And are we any committee members here or just you are? Oh, okay. Did you sign this?
A volunteer.
On the committee?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, we had, so we're, the way we're set up here is that we've got our tables up here for committee members. Yes. And if folks are not on the committee, they want to observe what we're doing, they can sit back here. So
She came in a little late.
So give her an introduction.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Thanks for filling me in.
Letting you know.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Maya Page. Hi, everyone. I am a experienced designer, and so I really love putting together physical and digital and human touch points together, so that piqued my curiosity with this project. I'm also a parent, and I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 3-year-old who will be here in the future, so it's a neat synthesis of professional and personal. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. It's great to
One more person? Yeah, so Eric?
Yes?
Or there was one more person.
Oh, okay. One more.
Sorry, I'm late.
That's okay. That's all right.
Hi everyone, my name's Subea. I actually work here at Ida B. Wells. I work at African Youth Community Organization, but I'm a mentor here at Ida B. Wells for culturally specific youth. I mentor about 50 students here at Ida B. Wells. I am here to represent them and to advocate for them and to advocate for their space. I am a PPS graduate. I graduated from McDaniel in 2020, COVID year. I really want to be a part of the rebuilding there, but I missed the application deadline, so I'm very happy to be a part of this one, and I hope to voice for my students, so yeah, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay. You got it. Definitely a lot of deep connections to the district here. I also am a PPS graduate, went to Cleveland High School, and also my Aunt Janet went to school here when the first year was open. So I'm sure I'll be having conversations with her if this building's going away.
55?
Well, so my dad was class of 55. Yeah, she came in here, I guess, 55. My dad was older, but, so my uncle, he went to Lincoln, and he didn't understand why we were tearing down the new Lincoln, because he started when that opened, and that was over 70 years ago, so, anyway. But a lot of great connections in the community, so really glad to have you all here. So, our agenda for tonight, clearly we've gone through introductions. I wanted to talk a little bit about just what the capital bond program is, just an overview for people who aren't as familiar with that. Some are. Then talk a little bit about the conceptual master planning that was done 2019, pre-pandemic, just kind of where that left off, and kind of then what we're doing, sort of moving forward from that. We'll have some time for Q&A after that. Take a little break, people can get some refreshments and snacks, and then we'll have you come back to your tables, and we're gonna ask you some questions and get some initial feedback, some input on a couple questions. So our project team, on the right here, these are the consultants that are part of the Bora Architects team that are part of the comprehensive planning effort. When the comprehensive plan is approved, we're actually going to be bringing in some additional consultants as we get more into the design. But you can see we've got a lot of folks on their team starting up with us. And then on the left column there, that's the folks that we have at Office of School Modernization. So there's myself and Hector. We're really we're the primary contacts of the project. We're managing the daily business of the project. And then we have, we've already met Dave Main and Johnny Wan here, part of our communications and operations group. And then our senior director of Office of School Modernization is Marina Cresswell. And then our director of construction for this project is Armin Malazzo. And Armin right now is kind of leading the Benson rebuild team, but then he'll also be acting as director of construction, so he's kind of going to be involved, and he couldn't make it tonight's meeting. He had another engagement, but we'll be seeing him soon. And this is the committee. So we've got quite a group here. We had over 90 applicants, a lot of interest. We kind of expanded our group size a little bit. Previous projects, we've had committees of around 30, but just with so much interest, our total roster with everybody, including Aisha, is 47. So, and we definitely have a good showing tonight, which is great. And so, it's really exciting to see how much interest is happening. Very similar with Cleveland, and just want people to understand that we're doing the same comprehensive planning effort with Cleveland High School, and we kicked off their committee last week.
And they know all about it because I sent them the wrong Cleveland.
Oh, well, there you go. So,
charter and rules
but
of
the
conduct.
intent, is that both schools are going to be going through the comprehensive planning effort, and we'll be, having touch points with district leadership along the way as we develop our comprehensive plan. And also, this slide deck will be posted to our website. There are embedded links into here that get you to information. I'm going to show you a couple things because we've already had emails, people requesting, can you send this or that or whatever. The website is really the place to go, and these guys do a great job of updating it. The recordings of the meetings will be up there within a couple days. The slide decks and everything will be up there. So it's a great resource, and it's also the resource for previous work that was done on the conceptual planning before, and then also just overall with bond. So the work we do at Office of School Modernization is kind of exactly that, modernizing our schools. We are our own kind of department within PPS. We're not part of the Facilities and Asset Management Group. That's really a separate group. Our sole charge is to implement the capital bond improvement programs. And our funding solely comes from, well, not solely, but mostly comes from the Multnomah County property tax measures, as well as some grants that we get for either historical renovations or energy efficiency incentives that we get from the state for going above and beyond code requirements for the energy code. And then we have guiding documents that we rely on as the kind of the foundation of how we implement our work. Those guiding documents, for one, is the long-range facility plan. That is a plan that gets updated at every sort of new bond that's put together. So it started back in 2011. The latest issue of that was published in 2021, I believe, and I'm sure we're working on updates to that. But that long-range facility plan really kind of gives us a roadmap to implementing the bond as we go. This is a 30 to 40 year capital bond improvement program. And then as well, we have what's called our education specifications. That's, well, it's kind of the recipe we use to make school. We have education specifications for the different school types, so K-8 or middle school, and comprehensive high school. So we're using the comprehensive high school education specifications that were published in 2017 after years of a lot of stakeholder engagement. It is really, it's about all the spaces that go into a high school, the adjacencies, the requirements, the recommended sizes, the minimum sizes. It's really, tells us what needs to be in the school, but then we apply that to each school sort of in its own way. And we've made, we make deviations from those specifications, and there's a process of doing that. A lot of times it relates to maybe a special program that's at a school that we want to maybe create some additional space for, and we work with trade-offs for other space that's within that specification. And our facilities group right now is working on some documents that we're kind of calling deviation support documents that are looking at what we've done at schools previously, so that we're not kind of restarting at schools we go. But it's a great document, and we're continuing to use that and do better with it. Then we also have what we call our design standards and guidelines. Those are not quite a specification as far as from a construction and design standpoint, but they touch on the major components of a building to tell our design teams, what kind of performance that we're supposed to have with materials or equipment, finishes, things like that. And then we have the PPS vision documents that are really the guiding documents for the entire work of the district, which kind of the latest round of that is the Portland Public Schools Reimagined document, which is a process of looking at our district vision and mission and refining that as education and our approach evolves. So in 2017, that bond included funding for the conceptual master planning, is what we called it at that time. And that was a process then that similarly, there was a committee, and I believe there might be a couple folks in here that were involved with that before. Thank you for your time back then, and thank you for coming here again. And we're going to be doing some similar activities as far as getting feedback and input, but we're going to be looking at a lot more detail. That was kind of a shorter effort that was really kind of getting a general understanding of perhaps how we could modernize the campus here. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in detail. And then in the 2020 bond, we have, as you may understand, may not, but we have a lot of need for capital improvement within the district. Over 80 schools, many of them near 100 years old, over 70 years old or older, and a lot of deferred maintenance. And so our bond measures are including a lot of work for replacing roofs and seismic upgrades, ADA accessibility upgrades. We've done a clean water project throughout the district, providing all schools with filtered clean drinking water that's lead-free. That's been a great project, and I think an example that we've set nationally. A lot of districts are looking at the work we're doing with that. And part of that 2020 bond, which is funding this effort, is this comprehensive planning effort, and also funding for the full design of what would be the modernized campus here. So to be very clear, that bond did not include funding for the construction. So funding for the construction is contingent on a future bond measure, and that, you know, our process though with Wells and with Cleveland kind of going at the same time, we'll be providing the comprehensive plan and cost information for district leadership to assess in sort of forming what would be the next bond. So, and these have links, and I'm not going to go to each page, but if you pull this slide deck down, anything that's underlined, you can go to the 2017 bond page and see what is on there, the 2020 bond page. You can see all the different projects that we're doing on there. So schedule, this is just this is a draft schedule, and I'm not expecting you to know what all that says, other than there's a lot we're doing here in the next few months. Basically, this is our effort along this line here once a month, having our comprehensive planning committee meetings, and sprinkled throughout that, we've got steering committee meetings that we have with district leadership. Staff meetings, we'll be coming in and talking to teaching staff here separately, you know, outside of the committee efforts, so there are more opportunities for teachers to provide input. And then we're also in the process of putting together kind of some mapping of the community to find other groups, other folks that we can talk to. Maybe we'll be going to them instead of asking them to come here. We have a community engagement consultant that's part of our architecture and engineering team that will help us organize some of those events and methods and ways to reach out to the community. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about that later. But this kind of gives you an idea of sort of the intensity and the things that we're going to be doing. But we're here in October, and our goal really by January would have developed options that we can be looking at, and then working on then an approval process through the school board's facilities and operations committee, and then the full school board to review the comprehensive plan. That approval process takes some time, just working with board schedule and board business. And so at the same time, we will be continuing to develop the design and the work as we go, so we're not losing momentum. Okay, conceptual master plan. So that was completed in 2019. It came up with 2 general site options without kind of a clear favorite. You know, there were basically the idea that was established here, and what has been the assumption, but that's something that we could revisit within this group. But the idea is that the new building would be built on fields like we did at Lincoln. So the students would remain in the old building going to school while we build a new one. We move everyone over into the new building, and then we would tear down the old building and rebuild fields, parking, etc. over here. So that's how we did the Lincoln project, and that requires a 3-year construction duration. Because of that time, it takes 2 years to build a new building and then to get everyone over there. Then we need to have another year to kind of rebuild the rest of the site. So this is the diagrams of one of the options that was laid out. More or less, it's the options look at kind of 2 different site diagrams where you've got the main school either kind of in this east-west orientation, and then the other one, north-south. So, and I mean, these are very conceptual, just kind of more like bubble diagrams. And so we'll be getting into more detail, but we will be doing more bubble diagrams. You'll be seeing those. But you know, this at least gives us a starting point. But a lot has kind of happened between this effort and where we are today. And so we want to take that into account. So it's not just really kind of picking up where we left off, but more or less using that as a point and looking at kind of what we've done since then. So this diagram, basically we've got time along the bottom, dollars on the, here, I'll get over here. So money, time. And these are different buildings, different schools that we've constructed and are working on. So when we did the conceptual planning for Wells, and back then it was called Wilson, it was right here, right after, right when Grant opened. This is kind of the time when we were doing that work here. What these lines and these bubbles represent are cost per square foot numbers. So 2019 was Grant, Kellogg Middle School 2021, McDaniel High School 2021, Lincoln 22. Now we're working on multiple pathways to graduation project, as well as Benson High School opening next year. And then this is what the target budget is for Jefferson High School. So clearly this is telling a story as far as time goes on, the costs are going up. And when you see this red line here, this is kind of an average that is looking at sort of the recent schools that we've done. And that's kind of where we want to aim for. So even if, you know, McDaniel costs $655 a square foot in 2021, we understand that costs would be greater when we start this project. But our main mission is to make sure that we know we're going to be spending more money, but it's not more program, more building, more expensive materials, etc. It's really kind of keeping in line with what we've already been doing as far as cost, quality, performance, etc. But understanding that there is this gradual sloping up of costs. The challenge that we have, of course, is that related to the way we fund our projects, through our capital bond measures, is that there's a conversation that is really outside of the design and planning, but it's a conversation of what a bond measure might be, what may be, that's where we get experts and consultants that work with district leadership about what taxpayers may be willing to spend. We also have, there's bonds that sunset, that kind of get completed. And so there's an element of a bond that can be renewed where it doesn't increase taxes. I don't know what that number is. That's definitely up in the bond planning folks. But I just want to kind of give an idea, sort of set the level at least now where we're at, knowing that, Ida B. Wells High School is going to be built to those same qualities and standards that we've been doing, and we understand that costs are going up. But we also have to be mindful of that on really kind of how, some of the big decisions that we make on this project. And some of those decisions get made early on, really in this kind of effort that, have a ripple effect through the whole project. So we've got a real good team that's been working on our other projects that will be coming in. So we definitely have high confidence that we'll be able to have a successful outcome. So our goals or our tasks for this effort then, we want to analyze the possible site options, understanding rough order magnitude of cost, schedule implications, risks, opportunities, et cetera. It's really kind of what's, you know, an analysis on, okay, there's one way to develop the site, let's look at another way. And it's not just, you know, it's where the risks and opportunities, that's where it's goes beyond just the school program. It's like, how does the school interact with the neighborhood? How are we designing the campus and its connections to, you know, the business center versus the residential area? So that's where we'll be kind of looking at, okay, what are those opportunities? What are the risks of doing a certain layout of the campus? But the goal is really to work toward one preferred option to move forward. At the end of this effort, you know, the intention is then we would be amending our architect's contract to design a building and design a new campus based on this comprehensive plan. So we need one plan. We can't have two. So we'll be making some decisions and there will be trade-offs, but we will be taking one option that has broad support. We can't always get unanimous support, but one option that we can take to district leadership for their review and approval for us to move forward. So what's really important, and as you have read in our the charter for the committee, I mean, you know, authentic community engagement is really important in this process. And this is a very important part of our process, but it's not the only way we're engaging with the community. We'll be sponsoring some workshops that will happen here at the school that are open to the entire community to come. We'll be doing similar exercises in the workshops that we do in this room with the committee. And we would actually be asking committee members if they're available to kind of help us out at that workshop. You know, if you've been here for a couple meetings and gone through some of these exercises, then it's great for us to have you come to a workshop and sit at a table with folks that haven't seen anything yet. And we're kind of looking to you, if you have that time and availability, you know, to kind of help guide some people through this process.
Also, if I might add, because I'm just typing this out to the Cleveland folks, part of what we ask you to do as members, since you kind of represent different groups and different folks, is to then share the information out about this upcoming design workshops and open houses that are open to the public, to others, and try to encourage other folks to come to those, because those are the real opportunities where people who can't make it or are not part of this group have a real chance to interact with the design team and have their say. So thank you.
Thanks, Dave. We're also working on a general survey, and I mentioned earlier focus groups that we're identifying. We're going to ask your help on that. Neighborhood associations, PTA, not just at Wells, but part of the, you know, getting out to the cluster, the other schools, et cetera. So really, we know that our systems haven't been perfect as far as being able to reach everyone that's part of the community and that wants to provide input. So we're really trying to expand that. And we're going to be asking you a question about that in a little bit. So right now, we just want to do a brief Q&A. It's a lot of me kind of talking up here and information, et cetera. But happy to answer some questions that you might have. We can pass the microphone around, and then we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back and do some work at the tables. So any questions? Rochelle?
When do we think the construction bond will be put up for vote?
When do we think the construction bond will be put up for vote? Well, that we don't know. I mean, that's, but, well, Andrew,
Yeah,
thank
if you
you.
want to.
Director.
Yeah, so the plan is to put it up in fall of 2024, so next November election. And I mean, I will say, it's always tough as one board member. I can't speak for the entire board. We've been talking about including IW Wells and Cleveland in that 2024 bond for a decade now. So that's the plan. I know that I'll be pushing really hard for that. We won't know until we get the final board decision on what's in that bond, but that's the current plan. So yeah.
Thank you, Director Scott. Appreciate that. We can't speak for the board, but as a board member, it's great to get, you can speak for yourself.
Yeah.
But that's very important, so that's good information. Thank you. Yes.
To sort of piggyback on that, if it is in the fall of 2024 vote, what would then be the like timeline, like for like breaking ground, and like how quick after that would something like this happen?
Well, we don't have a full construction schedule developed, really because we need a lot of approvals and of course construction funding happening. I mean, we are looking at ideas of schedules. It's hard to say. It also depends on what the comprehensive plan is as far as what we're doing with the campus. It's possible it could start in 2026, but it's hard to say. Really, it takes about 2 years to do the design and permitting and getting contractors on board and bidding and all that. That almost takes another year. So it kind of depends on their different ways that we can go for our permits. We do phased permitting, try to compress schedule, but we're not going to get into that kind of detail right now because we need to know what our comprehensive plan is. But hypothetical, potentially 2026, but there's a lot of things that have to happen before that.
Were there any updates done to the master plan since it was initially created in 2017?
No updates to that conceptual plan.
On that same note, are we basing our decisions on current enrollment, or are we gonna be talking about what future enrollment could look like for the school?
It would be based on what our education specifications have. There is kind of an ideal enrollment number, which is 1,700, but it's a function of utilization, classroom utilization. So that sort of ed spec building, as we would call it, can flex up to 2,000 students. It just really depends on programming, how the rooms are scheduled, how the classes are utilized, et cetera. So there's definitely a flex within that. But the sort of that kind of perfect spot is 1,700, because that's where you've got, we're also basing other large spaces based on that minimum. So, but say like our gymnasiums, we try to get around a 2,000 occupancy in our gymnasiums, so we can have all students and staff and others there, for example. Yes.
How does your office get feedback on the completed modernized schools such that it flows into these future projects? Like, how is Lincoln performing? How's it going?
Right, good question. That's something that we kind of evolve as we've completed each project. We're working on putting together post-occupancy surveys that we do at each building. As we go through kind of our monthly work, where we're putting together our monthly reports as far as status on projects, we're also listing all of our lessons learned, if it's through things we've learned in contracting, or things that we've learned when we've finished a space and we realize, okay, this isn't working the best, it could be working a little bit better. So we record that, so we've got, we have lists of that, and definitely there's definitely people giving us input, but it's really important because, so I went to Cleveland, and so I was there last week, and a friend of mine, she was saying, well, we're last. And I said, well, we're saving the best for last, for one. But we do it better each time. So it's not like we're just sort of doing the same thing as we go. And so it gets better, we learn lessons, we improve either our guidelines, our standards, or our specifications. So that, and also we'll provide opportunities that we can go look at other buildings that we've done. That will be kind of, we'll provide those opportunities. People aren't required to do that, but we'd love to get folks into some of the other buildings that we've done and finished the last couple of years. Go ahead.
You showed us the two options previously.
Yeah.
would that be what we would be selecting from, or is there a third unknown option?
Those two options are, I'd say we look at those as ideas that happened 5 or 6 years ago. Is that right? 2019, 4 years ago. So, but we could come up with better ideas. I mean, not that those are bad ideas, but I'm just saying that we don't want to just kind of use that as, okay, we're starting from here. There's a little bit of like, let's see how we can make this cake a little bit differently. Things have changed since then. Communities change. Things that maybe were a priority 4 years ago might not be a priority today. So that's why we want to hear from the community about, you know, what are we thinking about and how do we project that into the future. So it's really kind of taking a leap forward, but certainly there's a lot of really good work that was done in that conceptual planning effort that we will utilize. Yeah.
From what I know of the Lincoln project, most of the ball fields and the track were not available during the construction phase, and so a lot of those students from Lincoln were using some of Wells's fields, track, etc. Almost all to the not to the detriment or to the exclusion of kids up in this neighborhood. But I was wondering, do either of those leading alternatives have enough real estate available where some of the ball fields, maybe the track, could be available during the construction phase, or is there just not enough real estate to maintain sports facilities during construction phase work?
Well, what you're asking right now is one of the things that we'll be looking at in the next couple of months, exactly, because those are some of the big decisions that get made early on in the planning that have that kind of impact. And you know, do we keep the track and field and build next to it, or we're going to be looking at all those alternatives. And part of that earlier when we were talking about the cost implications as well as risks and opportunities, that's part of that. So one option might have an opportunity of maintaining more sort of field programs during construction. Another one might have an opportunity to be done sooner than another option. So, but we'll definitely be looking at all those criteria. You bet.
What happens at the end of that schedule that you showed? Like, what is driving this year's work?
So this year's work, meaning from between now and early next year, this kind of conceptual plan will really be kind of the organization of the campus, and where's the building, the orientation, where are program areas within the building. Those are kind of those big organizational decisions that will get made, and then as we move forward, when that comprehensive plan is approved, we move forward with design. So this is design, but it's more planning and ideas. When we actually start the design effort, that's when we know, okay, the building is going to be in a certain place, and we start specifically designing that. That effort, I know you have a follow-up, but I just want to clarify with that effort, this committee will sort of cease at the end of our comprehensive planning effort, which is just after the new year. Then what we do is we ask the community again to come forward to volunteer for what we call our design advisory group. And that is a committee similar to this that would continue to meet with the design team throughout the design process, and primarily during schematic design and design development, which takes about a year almost. And so it's just imagining, I don't know if you've seen that Power of 10 video a long time ago, where you're down at that minuscule level and you come out and you're looking at the planet. Well, we're kind of going back down. We're way up here looking at this big picture, and as time goes on and design develops, we get down to the actual parts and pieces, and that's kind of what that effort is. Does that help answer your question?
Yeah, it's great. And collectively, there's a desired time to start design process. Like, you want to start it in the spring, is what I'm understanding.
Well, really from our work, I mean, if it's in a perfect world, we don't stop. I mean, it's really, construction doesn't stop, design doesn't stop, it's a linear process. So when our comprehensive plan is approved, then we move right into schematic design. If we've got if there's a couple months perhaps of approvals, we may still be doing design work on parts of the elements of the plan that aren't gonna change, you know, but those are discussions that we have about our overall schedule. But really, it's schematic design, design development next year, construction documents perhaps following year, and permitting and construction. Don.
So when is the cost estimate that goes to the bond due?
When is it due?
When do they need it so that put the bond out?
Well, we're gonna be working on sort of what we call like rough order magnitude costs pretty early. I mean, we have cost estimators, we're bringing constructability experts to look at sort of all those elements as we develop the comprehensive plan. So as far as a deadline for district leadership to get numbers from us, that's not necessarily clear. We know that there's time for their analysis and decision making. You know, I don't know, Director Scott, if you have any insight into that, but you know, we'll have this comprehensive plan complete at the new year, or just after the new year, early spring. But we can continue to develop more information for leadership as we go.
Yeah, I mean, you had mentioned earlier, we're waiting to see how quick a bond we can go out with that doesn't raise taxes. Of course, we could make the decision to raise taxes, but that's a very different bond measure than one that just continues the existing tax rate. It'll probably be above $1 billion, like this last one was, but we need to wait for all the property tax information to sort of determine that. Once we know that number, then we work backwards to sort of say, okay, if we're committed to IW Wells in Cleveland, what's a rough estimate of cost? And you and your team are gonna tell us, you know, hey, to be safe, be in the $350 to $400 million range, and then we'll see what other things we might want to include. And then, so I don't think we need like the exact numbers at sort of, you know, 90% design or anything like that. I think it's more of, do we have that rough estimate so that we know we can at least get those high schools done and then add some other things on top.
But I'd say by the spring is really when we want to have as much detail and information that we can get to leadership.
One other thing that's probably for Scott, but I'd be really interested in understanding your analysis of interest rate, because obviously that's a killer for you on any bond measure.
Well, our interest rates are still quite low as a AAA, you know, rated government. So I can't, and they are rising for sure. But I don't know if anyone here remembers the last bond interest rate we had when we issued some of the 2020 debt. It was low. I mean, it's not like mortgage interest rates. It's lower than that. So yeah, it's higher, but that actually goes into some of the cost factors that that were being shown up there in terms of that, you know, price per square foot cost. Yeah.
Well, it's hard to say as well, because sometimes when some of those bonds are sold, they're sold at a higher rate than what we had anticipated, so we get a premium back, which could be, you know, tens of millions of dollars.
AAA Oregon are hard to find.
Any other questions? Great. All right. Well, thank you very much. Let's just take a 5-minute break. Want to make sure folks get a snack.